Hey legends, massive episode for you today. We have Rashid on from Tedsthetics, known as Teddy to the market. He has been creating content for ages. He is bringing the country and community together with his depictions of various suburbs, locations and cultures across Australia. He is absolutely hilarious. He's always been a target I've wanted on the show. He started content when he was only 17, took a break for 8 years and decided to come back so recently. He talks about the value of consistency and what that's been able to do to his content and stardom as he has grown. This was such a great episode, getting behind the scenes content of one of the biggest content creators in the country. This was an awesome guest, guys. Let's get into it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of the Unlaced podcast. As I always say, if you are new here, thank you for turning up. If you've come back again, I absolutely love you guys. We've had a big year. We are going all in on the podcast. There's going to be some changes and some new guests and exciting things coming, so please stay tuned. If you want to keep up to date, give us a subscribe, give us a like, get following our Instagram and TikTok pages. And just as I mentioned social media, today is a very special episode because we might have a man that's you've definitely seen before on social media. He's a man that brings all of us together with various types of content, the way he depicts cultures, locations, all types of characters that he introduces as well. It is a very, very special guest. Rashid from Tedsthetics, thank you for coming on, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. This is an honor.
Mate, hey,
an honor for me. A big step down for you, but I'll take it, bro. I'll take it.
Your humility is ridiculous, man. Who brought you up, bro? Like, you've got to have some sort of... It's funny because a bit of your content is very forward and like by no means arrogant, but very, very direct with what you're saying. And then I meet you and you're just very, mate, I'm very blessed to be here. Very polite.
100%, man. Bro, you know, it's all part of it, right? You know, on video, you gotta amp it up a bit, but you know, like meeting people and, you know, talk, especially like when I meet people who watch my content. Yeah, bro. It's like, man, you know, you can do this too, bro.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, have you thought about how, because I think I've seen you say it before, but definitely a big part of why you do what you do is you enjoy bringing people together. Like, have you kind of realized that that's a bit of a superpower in a sense because of the amount of people that you've brought together, the amount of people that communicate about your content and so forth?
Definitely. Like, bro, when you get people coming up to you and being like, oh, my mum loves your content or, you know, my grandma loves your content. Bro, and that's why, like, I'm so big on, like, not swearing or, you know, saying, you know, anything too crazy. You never do swear,
huh?
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Yeah, man, I got to make sure, you know, keep it as G, maybe PG rated.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, brings people together, brings families together, bro. Like, it's a good thing if your content is getting shared in, like, family group chats. You know, instead of being like, oh, I don't know, this is too edgy. I can only send this to the boys. Yeah. Right? You can share my content with anyone and everyone. And that's what we're going to do with this podcast. Going to make sure everyone, bro, we've got to get those numbers up, man. Yeah. Pull those numbers, stats of this podcast. Nah, don't.
Straight away into it.
They told me they can pull up anything, so that's what we're going to do.
For those listening at home, producer Braden, we've got a bit of a new way of doing things here. He's just last week on our show with Peter Hooley. If you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. Braden was just pulling up suburbs and locations of where we were talking about on the screen, and I almost had a heart attack because I'd never seen it before. I'm like, Braden's a genius. So now, yeah, we've got Rashid. Rashid just pointed him out. Hey,
we're gonna get the stats up. You know, we're gonna bolster up that 35 to 45 crowd and onwards.
Hey, you've got to be quite aware though of your like social surroundings and where you've grown up, and even I know you've done collaborations in other states and other areas of where you've made jokes about, but at the same time, like you nail places so well. Like I think when you've gone to like some of the western suburbs, northern suburbs of Melbourne, even in the sort of western suburbs of Sydney, yes. Bondi, all these types of places, like some of these places you haven't lived, yet you speak about it as if you've been there every day. Like, is that like an intuition that you have, or is it something that you just study and you prepare for so well?
50-50. 50% is just me. I do a lot of groundwork. So like people will just see me in a suburb, like, oh, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, I think I'm just grabbing a feed. I'm just picking up something from Facebook Marketplace. I'm really just sussing it out. So
are you actually really?
100%, man. I like got to go to a place, or at least have been to a place at least once. Wow. Because the one time that I did a video about a location, and I haven't posted it because it was just like me going there. Sorry, I have never been there. And I'm like, oh, we're going to get here, zero research. We're going to bang out a video. People are going to love it. It doesn't matter. And then I put it together and it just crashed and burnt.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm just like, bro, this is terrible. Like, this is so average. And like, you know, I'm selling myself short. Like, if I post this, people are going to be like, bro, this guy did absolutely no research. And you know, the authenticity obviously shines through the content. So 50% is me doing groundwork. And 50% sometimes, or now it's come to the point where there's a reputation of you go to suburbs. So come to my suburb and please talk about this because it's shocking. So
Bro, it's incredible. I think yeah, you must have some strong gut feel, even just to go there for a short period of time.
Yeah,
to talk about it.
I'm super observant, man. Like all my content is just observational humor. Like, bro, I'm not sitting here telling people like I'm a magician. I'll do this, I'll do that. Bro, I'm a very observant, and my daughter's like that as well. So
Really?
it's just genetically ingrained into me. Yeah.
Well, I see. That's my favorite type of humor, when you can kind of laugh at reality a little bit, because the world's sometimes a bit too serious, with certain things. So when you can pick things of just what we normally do and go, this shit's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like people are just walking by this, not even acknowledging it.
100%, man. Hey, that was me when I was younger. Like I grew up playing football, just like yourself.
Ah, yes.
And bro, like I remember, like, bro, our coach would make us run laps, and like just like every like football coach, right? Under 14s, under 15s, and bro, this guy will be like, "You guys, you guys lost 2-1 last week. You, instead of doing 8 laps, you're doing 12 laps." And bro, like I just used to like look around, and I'm just like, bro, we're really lit. Like, have you watched the movie The Trimmer Show?
The Trimmer, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Everyone's watched that in high school.
Yeah.
So some days I just feel like I'm in that, and like I'll be running laps, and I'll be like, bro, we're really living in this shit. So it's just like observations, but most of the times I just kept it to myself. And then once I started putting it in content, I was just, organically grown over the period of time that I've been doing it.
Man, it's crazy. So what I did doing my research about you is that you've kind of done this in 2 stints.
Yes.
Like you started really young, and then you kind of fell off the grid of the earth in a sense. And then you're like, actually, no, I'm just going to pick it back up and just explode it. So just to kind of dig into this a little bit, because first off, Teddy from Rashid's a big jump. So,
100%.
Yeah, and
man.
I'm curious to know how the connection is with your stage name.
Yeah, for sure. So Teddy, so my real name is Rashid.
Yeah.
Teddy is the nickname. I got that in high school. So, I was a chubby kid.
Okay.
And people will be like, oh, I'll never get compliments. I'll get, oh, you look cute, like a teddy bear,
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't be naming myself that. And my name is Rashid with a CH. So every time teachers will read it, they'll be like, oh, Richard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro,
God.
Bro, it's not Richard. That's not what my parents named me. So I'm like, when I'm making my username, or like, any sort of alias online, I can't put Rashid because everyone's just going to call me Richard. Yeah. And I was sick and tired of it. So I'm like, you know what? Teddy bear. Everyone was calling me that anyway. Chopped off the bear and put in Teddy. And then it just sort of picked up steam, and we've just left it at that.
Bro, wasn't it like just a daily routine? If you had an ethnic name or a name that's from Australia, like even mine, my surname's Barkadesh, it was just the roll calls were a way to constantly get insulted in front of your peers every day.
100%.
Bro, put hairs on your chest, man, after a while.
Right, and not just that, man, like you've got a common name, Jake, right? So there's more than likely someone is going to be there. So they're going to be like, Jake ABC.
Yeah.
And then they're going to say your name after it.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh, man, please don't. Just say Jake.
Yeah. Bro, sometimes I still got Jack as well. And
really?
and then one teacher called me Jake Bake a Dish. Like I'm a baker or some shit.
Whoa.
But yeah, I can imagine I had some ethnic friends in my class, and obviously people from others. Bro, the amount of butchered names in these roll calls, it was like...
And it's funny because it's always like the English teachers.
Yeah, the ones
like, bro, you've been through 4 or 5 years of uni. You don't even know how to read it. Or even, bro, or just have some shame. Be like, look, I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm probably going to butcher it. How do I pronounce it?
Yeah.
And they'll just butcher it and make sure like that character development is there for you in high school, man.
Oh, bro.
It's hilarious, man.
So to go into this first stint, like before you started, like who was Rashid? What were you doing prior to when the sort of light bulb moment went on around, I'm going to start making content?
So we're talking the first stint. So I was just a kid, like, bro, I grew up playing soccer, football. Yeah. Football, I don't want to offend anyone.
Well, you're from the northern suburbs, right?
From the northern suburbs.
So it's big out there.
100%. It's big out there. And I grew up in Morocco as well.
Oh,
so
really?
I did 4 years in Morocco.
Wow, that's mad.
So, both parents being Moroccan, they thought, just bro, typical migrant dream. We're going to come to Australia. We're going to work hard, take that money to Morocco.
Yeah.
We're going to have a good life there and just live it up there. So I did primary school there. And in Morocco, they only know 2 things. And that's religion and football.
I swear.
So, you're either doing both or doing one or the other.
Gotcha.
So every day was like school, you're playing soccer. After school, you're playing soccer. You're like, before you go to bed, you reckon we can find like a nice alleyway where we can play with it has like lit up enough? Yeah, all right, sweet. Let's go play 5-on-5.
Oh, wow.
So that's all we did. So then I moved back to Australia, and it was just like, man, there isn't really like a lot, going on, or it's all like nationality clubs, right?
Yeah, which it is. Still is to an extent today, right?
Cool. There we go. So being Moroccan.
Yeah, there's no Moroccan club,
There's no Moroccan club, number one. And number two, being Moroccan means I'm not Arab enough for the Arabs and I'm not African enough for the Africans. So I'm just stuck in the middle. But naturally, my dad worked in Heidelberg. So naturally, he was close with the Somalian community.
Okay.
So I played for Heidelberg Stars.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah,
There you go.
man, good times. And so I started playing there. And then once I turned 15, I got a job at Mackers.
Oh,
And then I started getting a bit of money, and I'm just like, football money. I'm just like, I'd just rather work an extra couple of shifts at Mackers and just get money instead.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. We're capitalists in some regards.
And not only that, bro, I played keeper. And I knew I wasn't going to be tall enough to make it into anything else. I'm just like, you know what, bro? I'll pick the Nuggets instead of, playing football. So yeah.
I actually heard about that Mackers was your first job.
First job, yeah.
First
straight
job.
off
It
the
was
bat.
Broadmeadow Mackers too, right?
Broadmeadows Mackers, man. You've done your research.
We do our research. Oh, I've got
Nice.
one better here. Because,
Pull that up. No.
Is it still there, bro? Who knows, man? It might have been freaking put on fire or something.
man.
Broadmeadow Mackers, that would have been an interesting Mackers to work at one. But I actually heard that you accidentally served one of your customers food that they shouldn't have eaten once.
100%, bro.
And in particular, I think this person wasn't allowed to eat pork and they had bacon in a wrap or something. And they came back and told you.
This guy, I come here today for a podcast. This guy's triggering my PTSD.
I know, but I just want to understand that. Like, can you go into that scenario? Because you've actually. So the reason why I brought this up, this wasn't actually that hard to find. This is part of your stand-up because you like taking fun out of like the way you've grown up and your background and upbringing as well, which is really good.
Yeah, of course.
But this situation I found when I've watched you on stage or seen sort of the clips of you on stage doing this. Fuck me, man. It had me in tears. So can you explain that, just that for the situation?
I'm working at Mackers. It's my first 2 weeks there. They introduced deli wraps. Okay, so Mackers only serves burgers, and now they've introduced wraps. This Muslim gentleman comes into Mackers. He orders a Caesar wrap. Now, bro, I'm not the one serving him. I'm just the one making the food. Anyways, we make the food. He orders a Caesar wrap, not knowing that there's bacon in it. Obviously, anything that's got Caesar in it, it's probably got bacon.
Yeah.
Anyways, bro, this guy comes up flying to the front counter and is just like, you. And he points at me. I happen to be at the front. And I'm like, yeah, how can I help you? And then he's like, you made me eat bacon. And I'm like, sorry? He's like, you made me eat bacon. I've been a good Muslim my whole life. And because of you, I'm going to hell. And I'm like, bro, you 100% you got the wrong person. But let me see your receipt. But I open up the receipt and there it is, Caesar wrap.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, shit. Oh. And then he's like, brother, I'm been a good Muslim my whole life. Because of you, I'm going to hell. He opens up the wrap, half-eaten wrap, goes to the window, starts smudging it on the window, sauce oozing everywhere. And I'm just like, what the hell is happening?
This is your second week of your first job ever.
100%. And I'm just like, what the hell is happening? And then I'm like, bro, like if you're Muslim and eating halal is obviously a big
100%,
big thing. Wouldn't you do your research, number one?
Caesar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Number two, bro, you're at McDonald's, man. Like, we're all on minimum wage, bro. We do not care. I highly doubt anyone on minimum wage is there thinking like, oh, is this halal? Is this work? Bro, you think Brandon, the Aussie kid that was working with me, is going to be in the back, oh, man, which chicken is halal? Oh, man, we got to slaughter it and make sure we say the prayer before we put it on this guy's wrap. Bro, it's McDonald's, man. It's not Jamie Oliver's kitchen or anything like that.
Oliver's kitchen.
Bro, this guy paying $5 for a wrap is thinking like we're going to get halal chicken and no bacon. Bro, do your research, man.
What an episode that is, bro. That is hilarious. When you said that on stage, man, the crowd was going nuts, bro.
Oh, yeah. I think, obviously, I butchered it, but on stage, yeah, that was and mind you, that was like the first time I've said that joke as
really?
well. Yeah, I haven't said it again.
Oh, well, we'll definitely have to go into your stand-up stuff and obviously the merch that I'm wearing today. Can this be bought? Can you give this a plug?
No, this is collector's item only now. Nah, honestly, I'm just gifting them to people now.
Right, yeah. That's beautiful. Wow, there you go.
If you do want to buy one, pay ID. We'll sort it out, man.
Yeah, DMs. So just to go into, so you started working Mackers, then was it from watching content like most people do now, watching YouTube, all that sort of stuff that triggered your brain into going into this space? Because How old were you when you started? You
So
were
I
young.
obviously started working at Mackers 15. When I started making content, I was 16, 17.
Bro, which is that's early doors for content
So you're
creation,
talking
right?
like YouTube, no ads on YouTube.
Wow.
The only ads you got served was like on the side of the video. That's it. So obviously over time, I'm consuming all this content on YouTube. And bro, like I grew up, I wasn't like a social butterfly. I wasn't like at parties every weekend, like being underage, you get invited to all these parties.
Yeah.
I was never doing anything. I was always home. I was playing video games and watching content.
Right.
And I used to watch like all these American content creators and I'm like, bro, how isn't there someone in Australia making content?
Correct.
At the time, there was My Chunny and Superwog.
Yeah.
So you're talking like OG, like OG days, right?
Bro.
Exactly.
Bro.
Man. And like I remember when they first come out and I'm just like, they're doing it, but they're doing it in like a skit form. There isn't really anyone like in America that's really just talking to the camera and just talking about experiences that you would go through, I would go through. We all shop at similar shopping centers. We all, have similar experiences. Like I said, coach making you run 12 laps. You immediately clicked. You're like, oh man, we've all been through that dogfight.
Sucks, right? Yeah.
Right? And then I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to get it done. So I went and spoke to my two best mates at the time. I'm like, bro, if I'm going to do it, let me get at least a couple of boys in. So that way, like, with content, you're going to have fatigue. One day you're going to be sick. The other boys can sort of carry. And I'm like, we'll do it in a group.
Yeah.
They can the idea. They're like, bro, there is absolutely no chance we're making videos. What if this person says that? The comment section, they're going to roast you. And I'm just like, man, I'm not listening to you guys. I'm going to get it done.
Yeah.
So I went to MSY. Familiar with MSY?
No. What's
So MSY is like this, like the cheapest computer parts you can find in Australia. I went there on my push bike. I bought I think it was like a $39, $49 webcam.
Oh my God.
And I took it back home and I'm just like, I remember like installing it, like plugged in the USB, installed the drivers. I'm looking at the camera and I'm just like, oh, well, now I've got a camera. What do I talk about? And I'm just like, you know what? Never mind.
So you put the onus on yourself at the start and then you're kind of
100%.
like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm just like, bro, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about that's going to be sort of like funny enough to sort of kick it off?
Right.
Anyways, I turned off the computer, went to work, caught the bus, got into Mackers. And I was telling the boys as a joke, they're like, like I want to start making content. They're like, best of luck type thing. They were older boys as well. So they sort of were like, I don't know if they took me serious or they were just like, you know what? Like, actually good on you, best of luck.
Yeah.
And then I remember like an hour into the shift, like we forgot about the content and everyone was just like going on about like Facebook. Bro, did you see this girl? Look at what she's posting. Bro, this guy's annoying me. And I'm like, bro, you know what? I'm going to make a video just about Facebook and just about like the annoying people on Facebook. And that was literally my first video. It was just me talking about annoying people on Facebook.
No way.
And then from there, the rest is history, bro.
So, wow. So that's, what year are we talking this is in?
We're talking 2011.
2011. So this is like
2011,
YouTube's like kind of just
2011,
getting
2012.
a bit of momentum. Like there's YouTubers, but there's not a lot.
Yeah, bro, when I told people like I want to do YouTube, people are like, bro, that's for Americans. That's not for us. We don't touch YouTube.
Was that the perspective in Australia at the time?
100%, man. They're like, bro, like what? Do you think you're a Smosh or, SXC Phil at the time or, like My Chunny, like even though he was in Australia, but it just seemed so far-fetched that I was like, bro, you're crazy if you think you can do this.
Yeah, dude.
But I just got into it and yeah, man, had fun with it and just kicked it off from there.
Bro, before we go into that next phase of what you kicked off, we have to touch on someone you mentioned who, for me, like I think Spanion's massive now, but arguably the biggest and best content creator we've ever had in this country has been Superwog.
Yes.
Bro, what was that, man? He was unbelievable. His clips
100%.
and what he was doing, like what he achieved as well. Like he had a TV show with ABC.
Of course, man. Trailblazer, like obviously in that sort of like
100%
content.
Trailblazer.
Like so you're looking at Fat Pizza, Superwog. Those are like, you think of
OGs of content.
Yeah, OGs of content. Obviously Fat Pizza on TV and Superwog on YouTube, right?
Based, bro.
Yeah, of course, man. They're the ones that are just like, they're the trailblazers. So it was like, they do it in an acting manner, and I was just like, you know what? How can I do the same but different?
Yeah. So you took some sort of inspiration from that, I guess.
100%, man. And I've met Theo. Who's,
Have you really?
Yeah, I met Theo from Superwog.
Oh,
but
wow.
it's like one of those things where I'm a bit salty. Not gonna lie. I met him at his show.
Oh, okay.
And bro, he was shocked to meet me as I was shocked to meet him.
No
so it was
way.
like a weird like people were just like, oh my god, like this guy makes YouTube. Superwog is obviously the big guy.
Yeah.
And like, we shook hands, took photos, and like, obviously, bro, I grew up watching this guy.
He's like
so like, I was super excited. And, like we shake hands and then he's like, oh, bro, we're still in Melbourne for another week. Here's my email. obviously we're talking back then, yeah?
Yeah.
Here's my email. Let's meet up and make a video. And I was like, beautiful, man. This is sort of like, it's going to build that trust of, people. It's funny, right? Because you almost need a bit of social proof. No matter
that
how
credibility.
credibility, right?
Right, that connection.
100% social proof. And
like
I'm just
for me now with the podcast, now it's a huge podcast because we've got Tedsthetics on, bro.
Hey, look, man, after
there
this,
we go, brother.
After this, man, we want those Spotify ratings, get them right up, yeah? Get those 5 stars right up. But yeah, man, I was like, sweet, this is the credibility. Anyone who sort of half doubted about it all, this is sort of going to kick it off. And also, bro, if you're getting a cosign from one of your, I guess, inspirations, that's big enough within itself, right?
Massive, right?
And I emailed him, and yeah, man, still waiting on that response till today, bro. So,
I had a feeling you were taking me there. I was like, oh no. So I
Theo,
opened up.
Superwog, if you're watching this, bro, I'm still waiting for that response, man.
I hope, in my eyes, or in my mind, I hope there was a great excuse for that lack of response. Sometimes your idols, man, they can hurt, bro.
Oh, 100%, man. And you know what? I sort of don't blame him. He was probably too busy for it anyway.
No. But you know what, forget that shit, eh?
Oh, 100%, man.
Yeah.
It's just like they say, never meet your idols.
Yeah, never meet your idols. That's the saying I was looking for.
And then it's just like, yeah, all right, cool. This is how it is. But it's all right, man. That's all right. I still love you.
Hey, bro, look, well, I'm sure he's fucking watching now. He'll be regretting it because look what you've been creating.
I mean, look, man, there's always room for improvement, and I'm happy to help, and I'm sure he'll be happy to like that. For me, making a piece of content with Superwog would be
like
up there, man. Like it'll be awesome.
Glass half full. You know what? It'd be better if you guys made one now or in the future versus back then. So
100%, man.
Now look where you
17 and 18-year-old me versus 30-year-old me right now.
Game changer, right?
100%, man. A whole different perspective. And that's why I'm super grateful that I did, that I did do it the first time and then sort of took a break and came back, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've brought this like GoPro type camera, 2011.
Bro, I'm talking webcam.
Webcam.
MSN webcam.
We don't...
MSN, bro. MSN Messenger.
It's like 1 megapixel of like...
Bro, 1 megapixel, that's generous, bro. You'll probably get more megapixels out of a calculator, man.
Yeah.
Shocking.
So how long in this period were you making content, and then what was the reason where you're like, I'm going to go back to sort of, not my everyday life, but go back to working and sort of drift away from this space?
For sure, man. So I think I made content for about 1.5 to 2 years, man. So the first 1.5 years was solo. And then the last 6 months was with the Janoskians, if you're familiar with their content.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was the last 6 months. And then I think towards the end, you realize that content sort of takes a team, number one. And number two as well, like the period of growth that we had in that 6 months when I was making content with the Janoskians, they wanted to go one way and I wanted to go another.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that sort of, I was like, you know what, this is probably best it's one of those things you're better off letting go than keep going, because if you keep going, you're going to do something stupid. Or you're going to say something stupid that you're going to regret. And, being 18 at the time, bro, I really didn't have a manager. There was no proof of concept, man.
Yeah, you're figuring it out each day, right?
100%.
There's no blueprint of what to do.
Bro, even this day, there's no blueprint, man. The last time that I met Spanian, it was the same thing. Like we're just sort of figuring it out. What happens next type thing. And I remember Spanian telling me I want to do videos going into hoods. What do you think?
No way.
Yeah, man. So when Spanian, when I first sat down with Spanian, I think it was just before his podcast, when we did the podcast together, he's like, I'm really thinking of going into hoods. But his initial concept was, I want to go into hoods with rappers from that area.
Yeah, right.
And he wanted to link that. And then I think he sort of realized, bro, I don't need someone's permission to go into their area. I'll just get the GoPro and go in myself, and it's blown up, man.
He's got like 50 people that are following around in the area. It's
exactly, man. When you got people on the ground, it's
amazing,
bro. It makes for a better piece of content. Yeah. When you got eyes on the ground, it's completely different.
Yeah. Well, even some of the ones he did overseas, it was like he obviously didn't have anyone. He's just walking through, and people are harassing or saying things to him in a different language, and he's just there, walking through the hood of Barcelona or wherever he was, Paris. Insane content, bro.
100%. And I think the authenticity in that sort of what provides the value of entertainment value, right? Yeah. Because when you're seeing some, crackhead yelling at him, you're like, oh man, if anything can happen, right? So, it's good entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely. So why, for you to drift off in this space, you've just explained why. The gap from when you stopped to when you came back, what was that?
8-9 years. So I think initially I was just like, bro, I got to stop.
Yeah.
And then it was 6 months. The first 6 months were tough, right? Because you're going from your king shit on YouTube to sort of like, I'm just going to adjust. I just want to study and work a normal job.
So the reason you wanted to go back to that is just because it was hard work. You didn't feel you had a professional operation, or was there like you weren't enjoying it?
50-50. I think it came to a point where like the creative juices stopped flowing, right? Like I didn't have a producer, I didn't have a manager.
That's a real thing with content creation. I think there is not necessarily like a creative block maybe, but you do need a break sometimes, bro.
And I think as you grow older, you realize, bro, you just need to rest and not quit.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, I should have just rested and not quit.
Like refuel a bit, yeah.
100%, but it just got to the end of it and I was just like burning candle from both ends.
Yeah, okay.
So you got one end, I'm doing my own content, and on the other end, I'm making content with the Janoskians.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no, we got to do more and like do something outrageous. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't think, that's right up my alley. But, power to you guys if you just want to go and continue on. So...
Bro, did you foresee that initial success you had to be out of the game for so long? Like, what were some of the jobs you did actually through that period? Because apparently you did like 3 or 4 different, completely different jobs as well.
For sure, man. So I studied my diploma in community services and my certificates in fitness.
Okay.
So I was working as a barista in the meantime.
So you can make a hectic coffee.
Bro, I'm a gun. I'm a gun, man.
Yeah.
We're talking like Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi of making
of the
coffee,
baristas,
right?
yeah.
Of the baristas. They don't like hearing that because they see me making content. But put me on a coffee machine, like just get the rust out, shake it out, and you'll watch me go.
See you later.
In all seriousness, I worked in the fitness industry, and then after that, I traveled. Okay. I traveled, went to Morocco, did Europe. Sort of like I fell out of love with the fitness industry. I was working night shift in the fitness industry, so I was like, you know what, I just probably need to let go completely.
Yeah.
Went overseas, traveled, sort of get different perspective, different life, and sort of figure out like what I want to do as well.
Yeah.
Came back, and then I started as a barista in Brunswick. Did that for like 6 months, and then whilst I was a barista in Brunswick, this guy comes up to me and he's like, bro, you make a great coffee. I operate Cafe Vue du Monde at the airport. You want to come work for me?
What?
He's like, we'll look after our pay and everything, come in for a trial and suss it out. I'm like, all right, I'm mad. So I worked at Cafe Vue du Monde for like 2 years at the airport.
No way.
Yeah, man. And at that time, like I had met my partner, which is my wife now.
Oh, congrats. That's
Thank
amazing.
You, man.
Yeah.
And
wait, you guys met at the airport cafe?
No. So that's like
met
around
just
the time.
before, right?
Just around the same time.
Okay.
And it was just like perfect timing. Like I met the perfect woman, and I was like, cool, I got to save up for a wedding, and that opportunity came up. So money, and I was just like, yeah, mad. And then I went there and just sort of like, dude, I was like sharpening my sword every single day going in there because working at the airport is like, think of like a normal cafe times 100.
Yeah.
Like the volume you're pumping through, you're bound to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, so you're not joking. You can make a fucking good coffee.
100%, man. Put me on a machine. Put me on a machine for an hour. I'll just get the rust out and you'll watch me go.
Wow, bro. This is crazy because this all adds to your story. So, and that's just one job you did? Because that was 8 years?
One job. And then I did, after that, so I finished my diploma in community services. I started working for a job provider. So we subcontracted with Centrelink.
Yeah.
So I worked for the government for a couple of years.
Wow, you were with Centrelink. That's crazy.
Centrelink, which is a tripper, right?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%, man. You'll get some people, bro, that are like, like we say in football, like prospects.
Yeah.
So like in high school, they were like these guys are going to uni. What are you doing with your life? And I'll be working there at a job provider, Centrelink. These people come in, be like, yeah, man, like.
No way.
Yeah, and it was sad.
Yeah, it's a tough.
Like,
you would have seen some things,
of course, man. And like my specialty working in that, I was working with PRPs, post-release prisoners, and refugees.
Yeah.
And the worst of society. So like I can say that now, not working there, but it was essentially like bottom of the barrel. So the people that were coming in were no good. So imagine going in 9 to 5, and you're having conversations with people that are essentially restarting their life, or literally don't know how to start their life again because they're just so far down a path of destruction that they don't know how to sort of, get back into normal society.
Right.
So I was there for 2 years, and then by the second year, I realized I can't sit in a cubicle office for too long. And you're having these conversations again and again every day, and some people just don't want to help themselves as well, right? Yeah. And it's frustrating. So I was like, you know what, I'll get back into the fitness industry. So from there, jumped back into the fitness industry.
Wow.
And man, I worked for Derrimut Gym and just stayed with them until I started making content again.
Well, so what was the What was the turning point to go back into content after such a long break?
Lockdown, bro.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, man. So
Bro,
the last 6
everything.
months of
Was it lockdown, bro? Despite how great, there wasn't a lot of things come out of that
100%,
changed
bro.
people's games.
Bro,
you know?
people were busy like going for runs, looking after plants.
100%.
Like, bro, I had boys that were making sourdough bread, bro, in lockdown. So I decided to make content instead.
Yeah, bro, what a move by you, huh?
Yeah, so I was just like, you know what? I turned to my wife and I'm just like, babe, you know what? I want to start making videos again. And she's like, you know what? Every decision that you've ever made, I've backed you. And you know what? This was just another one of those decisions that I'm going to back you the whole way.
So guys, I've recently been taking a supplement from Organic Reflection. It's an Australian brand. It's making incredible health and wellness products for you all, your parents, and even your pets, which my dog Zyla is absolutely loving. Organic Reflection has developed a unique formula of C60 in MCT oil that helps reduce your inflammation, which obviously that thing that causes most diseases, a lot of injuries, and a lot of pain in your body. It's essentially helped to strengthen your immune system and improve your mental performance. So for me, particularly when I'm doing podcasts or have to do some research, it's definitely an oil that I like to take orally before that, just to help with my brain space and keep me on focus. If you guys haven't heard of it, C60 is a super small carbon molecule that won a Nobel Prize in 1996 and can enter the mitochondria of cells to enhance energy production. After reading Organic Reflection's product reviews, I thought it must be too good to be true. I did want to try it. I reached out to the brand to work with them, and fortunately these guys were absolutely awesome about it. There's stories of people not needing walking sticks and being cured of chronic injuries and chronic pains in their body, which is really, really unbelievable. I tried it, and honestly, holy shit, I noticed improvements in my energy levels and mood, as I touched on, which is why I'm so passionate about sharing it for you guys. For me, there's nothing worse than feeling lethargic pre and post workouts or just in your day in general, because you want to achieve your full potential. Organic Reflection C60 helps my recovery levels in that form. And it's not just for the gym bros and ladies. This magic formula helps improve skin, hair, and nails. Organic Reflection also have a C60 pet formula so your furry friends can enjoy the same revolutionary health benefits as you. As I said, Zyla's been having it. She's absolutely loving it. I mean, she's a gorgeous dog, so she loves everything. They also offer an anti-HD and an anti-procrastination brain nutrition supplement, which I'm really excited to try. I think the anti-HD they sent to me because they thought I was getting a bit wrinkly, but hey, I won't knock them for that. So guys, what are you waiting for? You know I don't promote too many brands on here. Get starting your journey to a healthier and happier you with Organic Reflection. You can check out their socials as well. Head to organicreflection.com and you can use the discount code UNLACE for 20% off and free shipping on your first order. Guys, get around them. It's a great team, great people doing genuinely great things to try and help the community get healthier. Most importantly, let's get back into the episode. Hey guys, just a quick pause in this episode to compliment our partners of the show. You guys know that I've been sponsored and supported by Dabble, the gambling agency, for a while now. This place has a special place in my heart because it is like the social network of gambling. You can follow superstars of the game, copy their bets. You might not know so much about a certain sport, but you can copy someone who does and increase your chances of winning some money. Obviously, if you're not a gambler, please only bet what you can and are willing to lose. Please dabble safely, gamble responsibly, as we always say. Just so you guys know, this year I've been taking over the streaming space at Dabble every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Jake's Take is live. It is the wild, wild west of streaming. There's not too many sporting agencies or gambling agencies out there doing what we do. We put on a few bets throughout the show. We get some guests on. We have a lot of fun. It's all within the Dabble app. If you guys want to jump on board, the link is in the bio. Let's get back into the episode. Was it like a spur of the moment thought, or was it something that you'd been kind of itching at, like something that'd been, you're speaking to your soul a little bit for the...
Bro, when you take 8 years off doing something...
Well, that's why it's crazy, and what you've been able to achieve,
bro,
man.
Every month, there was someone that would come up to me and be like, aren't you that guy that used to make... Aren't you that guy that used to do...
The used to guy.
The used to guy, right? And I'm just like, every single time someone would say that, there were like 50% that would be like in a negative, like, so you used to be this, now look at you.
You fell off.
Yeah. And then there was the other 50% that's like, man, you're actually funny, man. You should keep going.
Yeah.
And every time like I'd have those encounters, I'd be like, man, should I go back?
Yeah.
And there's been like, in those 8 years, there was like 2 or 3 attempts of me to come back. And like I'd record the first video. And just like when you're used to like a level of success, right?
Yeah,
that starting from from ground up.
Yeah.
It just like I was sort of like ashamed of failure. I mean, not failure, but ashamed of sort of starting at such a low level.
Yeah.
But with social media, you get rewarded for consistency.
Bro, don't
you make one video or you make one podcast episode, it's good. But people will like that. But people will love you if you do more consistently.
Correct. Bro.
Like I told you on the phone call, people love consistency.
Yeah.
And people want to get that same experience every single time. Like if you make them laugh, you want to make them laugh every single week or 2 times a week that you upload or once a week that you upload. So, the consistency wasn't there and it never worked out. And, in hindsight, I can look back and be like, the consistency wasn't there. And, that's my fault. But it was lockdown. I had nothing better to do. So, we ripped that Band-Aid off and just started making content again.
Bro, it's great. Some of the things you said there are like really important things for everyone in life. But can you just speak to me about your journey in the second time? Because you mentioned consistency. Like the quality of content you put out is one component, but the consistency, would you almost put that above the importance of maybe the quality of what you're putting out? Because you're so repetitive with your content. You've been doing that for so long now. It's almost like that's been as equally as important to your growth as what you're sort of positioning out.
I'll give you the best analogy that I always use.
Right.
2 cafes. One cafe makes the best coffee there is in this city. 10 out of 10. But you go there 5 times, you only get that 10 out of 10 twice. And second cafe gives you an 8 out of 10 coffee, but all 5 times you go, you get an 8 out of 10 coffee. Which one would you prefer?
I'm going 8 out of 10, bro.
There we go.
Yeah.
People just want a
coffee every day.
Of course. And you want that 8 out of 10 experience. And you know what? Sometimes it might be that 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But if it falls down to an 8 out of 10, you're not going to be bummed because every other time you get the 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
So for sure, I'd definitely put consistency up there.
Yeah.
And like I said, people will respect the consistency more than they'll respect the quality because, bro, you're not going to get better unless you're putting out content, right? The more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. And with content, like I said, there is no real blueprint. Right? You speak to some of the best content creators in this country, speak to Sushi Mango, speak to Spanian. They'll tell you some videos do amazing and some videos flop. That's just the nature of the game.
Yeah.
Because you're putting out content and people are consuming it at super random times.
Yeah.
You could be making a video about relationships and someone who's just going through a divorce, they open it up and the first thing they see is your face talking about relationships. And they're like, bro, I hate relationships and now I hate this guy. So, you know what? Sometimes your content just lands on the wrong person.
Yeah.
You know?
Actually, that's a good thing to talk through is like, because actually one thing I think you probably don't get enough credit for is probably the level of detail of maybe thinking and behind the scenes work that goes into a 1-minute clip or like a 30-second clip that you might do.
100%, bro.
Because people just think it it's just come to his head. Like one of the ones that that went viral recently was talking about female eyelashes.
Yes.
And it's like, come on, bro. Surely people know that this guy doesn't know the different types of eyelashes.
When I first uploaded that video, like an hour into it, this guy messages me or comments on there. I'm sure the comment is still there, or if he messaged me, he's like, bro, you're a guy. What do you know about what do you know about eyelashes, number one? And and why would you make a video about eyelashes? I don't care about eyelashes.
Yeah.
You're talking millions of views later. Yeah. And then it's like, whoa, you can't write off a topic just because you don't want it.
Right. Content.
Exactly. Content is content. And like I said, man, I say this a lot and people really think I'm joking when I say this, but sometimes you just got to put content out there.
Yeah.
And bro, it'll attract its tribe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what the algorithm does. The algorithm is not some secret computer where they're like, you know what, bro, I don't like Jake, so I'm not going to push it.
Yeah.
Algorithm sends it to people who might be interested in it. And then from there sort of sifts it to people who are going to be more interested in it. And then, obviously if the initial batch isn't interested, then you know what chances are people that are of the similar avatar are not going to be interested. So then things slowly die down.
Wow, bro.
So you know what? I just put content out there. And you know what? Whether it's a feminine topic, whether it's a masculine topic, it'll reach its tribe and it is what it is.
Bro, the you can't change my mind stuff's kind of gone to a whole new level, huh?
100%.
Like when did that sort of start and like when did that become the slogan and almost like a brand in itself?
So you can't change my mind started off by accident. The first, one of my first,
Did it actually?
100%, man. Because I'm just like, bro, one of my first videos that went viral was about money laundering businesses. and the opening line was, these are the top 3 money laundering businesses in Australia, and you can't change my mind.
Yeah.
And I think the statement there, obviously it's a hook. because people will watch it because they think, oh, what does this guy know? And then it just like accidentally became my signature line. And then I made like a video, like 2-3 videos in, and I didn't say that line. And people were like, where's your signature line? And I'm just like, oh, wow, it's a signature line? All right, cool, let's keep it in. And it's just been like that ever since, man.
Yeah, so I feel every time you start doing well in any form of any aspect of life is when you start copying hate as well at the same time. It kind of correlates with growth and greatness at times. People try and cut you down and the devil appears as such. As sometimes people say, how have you managed that? I feel like you probably dealt with certain hatred or people having a bad day coming across your content and sharing something. Like, it seems like you've got a really good head on your shoulders in that regard. But how have you sort of navigated through being consistent, ignoring those messages and keeping, delivering for all the people that love your stuff?
Straight out, my coping mechanism. I just assume everyone has mental health issues. But if you can sit there and type up a hate message and press send or enter, right, there's something wrong with you.
Oh, my.
That's my main coping mechanism.
So you just keep that doesn't affect you.
This is a story I haven't told because I haven't been on a podcast since this message has come through. I started uploading on Facebook. As you saw, we was talking about earlier. Yes. I went to Meta HQ. And they're like, you got to start uploading on Facebook as well. I'm like, no worries. I'm going to start uploading my clips on Facebook as well, reach a whole different crowd.
Yep.
However, when you start uploading on a platform that rewards hate, unfortunately, it comes towards you. I upload a video about Hoppers Crossing. Oh, no, sorry, about Werribee.
Yeah.
Anyways, this lady goes out of her way, bro.
Oh, no.
To send me a message. Racial slurs, you this, you that. I bet you're from Broadmeadows or St. Albans.
Oh my God.
You dirty WOG.
Oh.
Just going down a whole rabbit hole. Right? What would you do in that situation?
Fuck. To be transparent, I'd want to go back at the person if I'm honest, but I don't know the appropriate answer you're looking for, but I would want to go back, which might not be the best thing to do.
What I did, I got her name. I went on Google. I searched her up. I found her LinkedIn. I screenshotted it. I sent it back to her. And I'm like, how would your workplace like this? And then she kept going, bro. She doubled down.
Oh, no, she didn't double down.
And I'm like, mad. I'm like, look, on your LinkedIn, it says you're from Hoppers Crossing and you want to know what's funny? I am coming to Hoppers Crossing. I'm going to make sure your whole suburb knows that there's a racist bitch that lives here. I'm gonna make sure everyone knows.
Oh my god, bro.
I don't know what happened in that 2 minutes that she read it. She stopped responding.
Oh my god.
And then 5 minutes later, I am so sorry, my account got hacked. Right.
What is wrong with people, bro?
Right. No one.
Hey, well done by you. Like that. Well done by you. That's good. That's sharp.
That's it. And then she's like, I'm sorry, I got hacked. Her partner starts messaging me, my partner's account got hacked. Please don't mention anything in the video.
Cap.
She's having an anxiety attack. And then they started throwing all those big words. Bro, I just blocked them both and that's it, man. Left it at that. But
They got what they deserve.
100%, man. I think, look, anyone who, like I said, at some sort of capacity can sit there, write a negative message and send it to a complete stranger. Bro, there's something wrong with you. And you know what? I'm going to beat you at your own game. I'm not going to sit there and dumb down and abuse you back. I'm going to make sure everyone around you knows the piece of shit you are.
I love it. No, it's actually nice. It's quite refreshing to hear you swear as well.
That's it. Yeah, no, I don't swear, but I get super passionate about shit like that, man.
That does, but that for me is that has nothing to do with your content. That has everything to do with race and
100%, and not just that, man. I'm a genuine believer. If you've got to swear in your content, and this might upset some of my peers, if you have to swear in your content to make people laugh, you might not be that funny, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You just got to work on your delivery. Yeah, and you know what? When I first started making content on YouTube, I was swearing like a sailor.
Yeah.
Second time round, I'm like, you know what? If I have to swear, then I'm going to attract a crowd that I don't want, number one, as a family man. Yeah. And number two, I'm probably just not that funny if I need to swear.
I've never thought about it like that, bro.
Think about it, bro. Like anytime you're at a bar and someone's like, gets a bit pissed.
Yeah, bro.
And they start like mouthing off. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
But then like you start like looking back, you're like, it's all right, chill, man. Like, we're just here with the boys.
That's a good point, bro.
Yeah. So that's why I'm just like, I don't have to swear.
Yeah,
but
you
on a
don't-
podcast format, it is what it is.
Yeah, I like it. Should be yourself. It's obviously important. So going into like just your clips and the variety of content you do, like specifically, what sort of clips started like really taking off for you the second time around? That was kind of catching the nation, catching a wider audience, and just equating to you having this massive growth of recognition of like being hilarious, which you are.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. It's just you and my wife. That's all. There's only two people that think that.
Yeah, that's it, bro.
Honestly, like that's it. I'll take what I can get, bro. Call me handsome too, man. Honestly, like TikTok and Instagram is a different ball game, right? I went into it thinking like, bro, just like at the start, bro, I got to be different. TikTok is just people dancing or like, using those like voice, like, that, or like the dancing clip or like a voice over and they're like, oh, look at me, I'm funny because I'm using a voice or that's a meme or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I got to be different. I got to show a method of delivery that entices people to watch.
100%.
So the hook line, you can't change my mind.
That was brilliant.
People are going to sit there, they're going to think like, oh, let me see if this guy's wrong. And I want to make sure I let him know in the comment section that he's wrong.
Yeah.
Right? But whatever, engagement is engagement. And we're going to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And then on Instagram had just introduced Reels. And bro, the one thing that I will always say, never bet against Instagram. And I knew that Reels was going to take off and there's going to be a time where people are going to share Reels like crazy. And 2-3 years later, here we are.
Bang, bro. It's
All
just
we're
getting
doing-
sent around, pinged everywhere, bro.
Exactly,
A
man.
big part of how people are coming across your content today, if they
100%.
weren't following, is because people are just...
People are just sharing it, man. And I think as well, like initially people thought like, yeah, you're just going to take off on TikTok and nothing will go on Instagram. But just because I was there early, like it just worked out so well. And, we just stick to the foundation of like observational sense of humor and sort of go from there. And I think the good thing is, like I said, you're going to put out content, you're going to attract your tribe and people will let me know what to make videos about next.
Right. So you're kind of gauging, you're putting stuff out and then the way people react and your community reacts to it is what you might double down on a bit more.
100%, man. And, there's always room for a part 2 for a video. And you know what? I always say this, man. Like 2, 3, 4 brains is always better than one.
100%.
I can sit there and rack my brains about a piece of content.
Yeah.
And sometimes the comment section is just funnier than my video.
Yeah.
Because, they've had a different life experience or like they've had an experience similar to mine, but it's just that much funnier. And I guess that's what brings people together. And, like I'm not going to sit here and sort of, put who said this, but someone in Meta said that I've got one of the most engaged communities on Instagram in Australia, AU and Z.
Wow.
So, you're looking at, bro, Instagram videos and Reels are not made to have hundreds or if not thousands of comments.
Yeah.
But, I'm very fortunate to have an engaged community. And like I said, it's just the relatability. We've all lived the same life. And it's just, like people putting out their experiences and, lucky for me, it's not a toxic comment section as well. So, everyone is there having a good time.
Beautiful.
And that's what it's about, bringing people together.
Can you take me into what Meta HQ's like, bro? They have got like flying saucers flying around or fucking...
Nah. So, like, for half the stuff, I had to sign
driverless cars going
an
through the office.
NDA.
Oh, right.
So I can't talk. I can't share too much. But in terms of like the craziest part that I found, right? You've worked a corporate job?
Yeah, bro.
Okay. I've worked a corporate job as well. But at Meta HQ, they get served breakfast, lunch, and don't quote me on this, dinner too.
Oh, my
Right?
God.
They want their staff to eat healthy,
Wow.
good quality whole foods, and they make them food every single day.
Wow,
And
bro.
that blew my mind, bro. That's number one. Number 2, coffee on tap.
Yeah, really?
Free coffee.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? So, bro, that's essentially 2 of the biggest expenses taken off you.
Yeah.
Number 3, I think they just, like, bro, they have such a binary way of thinking about their technology that it's actually wild, bro. Like, the way people, all these like social media gurus will sit around, bro. Oh, you should do this and you should do that. My train of thought is so aligned with them that it's, bro, it's just so basic. Like, don't think of algorithm as someone there. Like I always say, it's not someone there. Oh, no, I don't like that Teddy guy, so I'm going to block his video, shadow ban or this and that.
Yeah.
It's just so binary. Like, it's just a piece of technology and it's out there. So that was refreshing to sort of hear that my train of thought is right.
Wow, that's special.
And also, like they've given me some information where I'm just like, all right, cool. This makes sense in the sense of like why Instagram is just like, so I guess, what's the word? So legit.
Yeah.
Like in the world of like social media.
Right.
You see someone have followers on TikTok, you're like, yeah, that's easy to get.
Well, yeah,
You see someone have followers on Facebook, you're like, anyone could sort of get an old page and, have it from like year 9
So true.
and gain followers. But you see someone who has a lot of followers on Instagram, you're like, it's either like fake or it's like, man, this person is super legit.
Yeah.
And like the more I spoke to him, the more I'm just like, yeah, man, you guys are on the pulse with everything.
Well,
man.
yeah, bro, because it does. It feels when stuff goes on Instagram, it feels like it's more difficult to have the reward on that platform.
Definitely,
In
because
a sense, right?
because most of the people are real people, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. Think about who do you follow on Instagram?
Well, TikTok, it doesn't hit your following at the start anyway. It hits
100%.
everyone outside of your following.
It hits everyone outside your following, and it hits people who might have interests in your content, right? Because
Right,
I think
correct.
it feels like for every 5 videos that you scroll through on TikTok, 1 is an ad, 1 is like a wild card, and 3 are content that you're actually engaging in.
Yeah, spot on.
I think that's the algorithm
that's how
that I've
it's
sort
set
of
up,
cracked.
right.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's how
there
it's
you
set
go.
up. And then on Instagram, it's just like we want you to stay on the platform as long as possible. So your stories are going to be people you're most engaged with. Like you sit there and actually like hold your screen to read what they're saying or put on your volume to hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
So things like that. And as well as like your newsfeed, like people are like, why don't you have chronological? And it's like, bro, chronological is out the window, man. People just want, I want what I want right now.
Spot on.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they'll be like going to a restaurant and being like, oh yeah, we're going to serve you your eggs because we're going to serve you your eggs first. And we'll bring out the toast because it's going to take an extra 2 minutes to toast.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we're going to bring out the butter because it's all the way in the back. It's like, nah, we're going to give you everything that you want
Yeah.
in one go.
Yeah.
So, and that's the way the algorithm works. And, I fine tune my content to make sure it hits the algorithm just like that.
Yeah, the attention span's definitely changing, like
100%,
through all of this stuff, right?
Bro, I used to sit through like 20-minute videos on YouTube when I was a kid, man.
Yeah, bro.
Like, whilst now, man, if a video doesn't engage me in like 6 seconds,
Bro, they make it. I actually read something the other day about like TV series and like our generation and younger starting to watch TV series or like reading books. Like if stuff doesn't hit us instantly, like we'll put it down or we'll change over the channel or type thing like that. Like we're used to that instant fix of glory or such as what you said.
not just that, bro. Like, you're my age, 30, 31.
Yeah, 31, yeah.
Beautiful. Bro, when we were kids, songs used to go for like 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Go look at the charts right now, man. If a song is longer than 2 minutes,
Yeah, bro, 2.5 minutes, stuff like that.
2.5 minutes max.
Yeah,
If Brayden was to go on Billboard right now, you look at all the songs, max 3 minutes, man.
Bro,
Because the
that's
attention
wild.
span just isn't there, man. Like, bro, I get it up, like, I get Spotify on my, like, in my car. Halfway through a song, I'm changing it. But that's just because, like, that's the
Yeah,
nature of the beast, man.
That's so true, bro.
Attention span is fried, man.
Yeah, well, it works in your favor a little bit with the content, which is
100%. But it's like it's a double-edged sword because like now if I want to do YouTube, it's like how do I convince someone who watches me for a minute to watch me for 10 minutes or 15 minutes?
That's a good point, bro. Have you sought after, or I mean, do you naturally have any sort of mentors in this space? Because sometimes content creation, as much as you collaborate, and I want to go into some of the big collaborations you've done, because you've done a whole bunch now, but it can be a bit of a lonely space as well. So from like whether it's a business standpoint or just having someone that that you've looked up to in the space that you seek advice of, like, do you have that? Is that something you've sort of worked around and had that support?
Bro, I wish I could tell you that I have a mentor or, there's someone to look up to. But honestly, I'm just like everyone else. I'm trying to figure it out.
That's refreshing to hear, though, for something.
Yeah,
because
like,
everyone
bro,
thinks that's the answer.
Yeah,
but-
no. Honestly, like I don't have a mentor. I don't have anything. Like I might have conversations with other peers and people that I've collaborated with. And we're sort of like, oh, that happens to you. Yeah, it happens to me. Oh, okay, cool. So that's sort of like reassurance.
Yeah.
Having the one-on-one creator meetings at Meta as well sort of like gives you reassurance of like, all right, cool.
You're on the right direction.
I'm on the right direction.
Yeah.
Or they'll say like, hey, you used to do this, but you aren't doing it anymore. And but I wish I had someone to lean on and be like, oh, bro, how can I do this? But there is no real guideline. There's no real book.
So you've just put the weight on your back with the supported family and friends around you.
100%. Bro, like at the end of the day, it's an algorithm.
Yeah.
It's human psychology. Like that's all it is. I make a funny video. I'll show my partner and I'll be like, hey, babe, what do you think of this? If her and I both find it funny because we have very different senses of humor.
Really?
100%, man.
Does she find you funny?
So some stuff, yeah. And then some stuff like where I'm like, bro, this is hilarious. My wife will look at it and be like, babe, that's not funny.
Oh my days.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so chances are if a video we both find funny that I make, chances are it's going to go viral and it's going to do well.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's like the main metric that I use. And as well, like if I have mates, like for example, especially if I'm doing a suburb video, I'll lean on one of the boys.
Right. Okay.
Like I'll say, oh, like Jake's from, for example, Dandenong.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, Jake, bro, like, you know, there's this video that I made about Dandenong. Suss this
Shout out Dandy.
Yeah, shout out Dandy, man. Shout out Dandy, shout out Melton, shout out everyone, man. I don't wanna take no sides, bro. That's it, man. I'm not here to get clipped by any side, man. But yeah, like someone from the area that I sort of trust, I'll be like, hey, bro, like I made this clip. What do you think?
Right.
And I'll be like, oh, could have added this, or maybe take this out and add this in. And yeah, you know, like you just rely on feedback. And then in terms of like editing and everything, like I said, it's just human psychology.
Yeah.
Give someone a reason to watch and make sure you prove them right rather than prove them wrong.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty special. I think one thing that when you start in content as well or start building it, people don't realize that you're actually building a business. And then obviously there's a whole business aspect, a business arm of what you're doing outside of why you started in the fun component of the creative aspect that you've got to manage and maintain. All of a sudden you've got, you know, partnerships coming, you've got collaborations, there's money discussions, all this type of stuff.
Definitely.
Like that you probably going back into the working world might have helped you naturally have a skill set in. But just that aspect of behind the scenes that people don't see right with your page. How has that been for you?
It's good, man. It's till this day, it's still awkward.
Yeah.
Because like you have some conversations where like, you know, sometimes I'll get like imposter syndrome in the sense of like, am I worth this much? I don't think I'm worth that much.
Yeah.
And then there'll be times where like, you know, a company will come and they'll be like, yeah, we're going to pay you this much. And you're like, oh, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, it's still awkward at times to sort of, you know, juggle. And as well as sort of like, so some of the companies and partners that you work with is what you'll tend to find is you develop a really good friendship with them. And then it comes time to like awkward, like for them, if they sort of like need to cut you off.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like you've got, you know, you don't want to adjust a few things, then it's like super awkward, right?
Gotcha.
So that's sort of like the main challenge. But other than that, man, you know, you just look out for your best interests. Well, at least that's what I do because I'm not managed by anyone, which is like another weird thing in the space. Like I'm not managed by anyone.
I guess so, but you don't need it, I guess. Like if you're doing this.
Like, bro, I don't need it. And not just that, like, dude, you hear some horror stories and you're just like, oh, do I really want to go through that?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? I've got really good relationships with really good people. And you know what? I don't want to spoil that. So let me just communicate for myself. And you know what? If there's a difference, whether it's in, you know, like financially or there's a difference in terms of like stature, status and reputation, then so be it. You know, we're only human. Yeah. And at the end of the day, they've got a job to do. And then so do I. Yeah. So we look out for our best interests and hopefully we can both mutually benefit from a partnership. And, you know, and get the best result possible. When
did you start opening the door to collab with other content creators? Like the stuff you did with John Bernard's hilarious, man.
Oh, man. John Bernard, like I say this publicly, he's my favorite content creator.
Bro, isn't he just like fucking hilarious, man?
He's gold, bro. Like I love his content.
We've got to get him on this podcast one
100%.
time. Whenever he's
John, if you're watching this, bro,
get him
come
on,
down.
Bro. Yeah, for sure.
But, bro, John Bernard's one of my favorite content creators, right? And it's him and his brother, bro, they're hilarious. And it's just one of those things that, like, I met him through KO Sports, which is one of my main partnerships, right?
Yep.
And I met him through there, and bro, we just gel. And it's just like, dude, it's very hard to meet people you gel with. Yeah. Number one. Special. Number two, people who get it. Yeah. Like in terms of like, dude, the last time we met up, we made 6 videos in one day.
That's
which
crazy.
is unheard of.
That's crazy.
All right. And just because we get it, like, you know, us making a collaboration video is beneficial for both of us because we share the same audience. And number two is the easiest pressure of us having to create content further down the track. You know, creating 6 videos in one day takes 2 weeks. You know, off work.
You guys did it in half a day or a day.
100%. We knock it out in a day and get it done. So, you know, there's that. And as well, bro, it's very rare to meet good people as well, man.
Spot on, bro.
And those 2 boys are just gentlemen, man.
Spot on,
absolute gentlemen.
Yeah. What about for you now going into probably what from the outside has always seemed like a natural progression for you and maybe within yourself, but when like they say, what do they say? The second biggest fear in life is public speaking after death. Yeah. And for you, you know, you just joked around before about you know, some of the jobs or like how, you know, school it wasn't really for us type thing and figuring out what was next. But you've gone into stand-up comedy, which is the height of that sort of fear of like, you know, putting yourself out there and making people laugh, but on a stage and on a setting where anything kind of is possible to an extent. Like when did you put the pressure on yourself or the onus on yourself that I'm going to finally sort of move into that space and look at how I achieve that?
So 50% of it is people saying like, oh, so man, you make these videos. when are you going to like tour? And the other 50%, man, I just got pushed into it.
Yeah,
honestly, like it was just like a deal came along. And they were just like, yeah, like we want to do a tour with you.
No
and
way.
I'm like, people
so you went
asking
straight
for
into
it.
like almost a tour. Like, did you do any sort of like shows?
Yeah,
sort of?
I mean, I did some like open mics at the Comics Lounge. Shout out to the Comics Lounge.
Yeah, big.
Sort of like, I mean, I got slapped around in the face, man.
Did you really?
Yeah, man. Like, bro, like I said a couple of jokes. Even on my tour, I said a couple of jokes that did not land at all, bro.
Wow, okay.
And yeah, like in your head, they're funny. And this is what I mean. It goes going back to content. You're talking about. So like there are jokes that are just funny to you or they're funny in your head. Then you say them out loud and it's like, actually that wasn't funny at all. And that's what happened to me at Comics Lounge.
Right, okay.
And then when jumped in the tour, it was the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, so like jumped into it and like, bro, I was shitting myself,
Oh,
man.
that's- yeah.
Until this day, man, I still get nervous, bro. So it's only, it's part of the game.
Yeah, well, nervous means you care, but also fucking naturally nervous because like if it does go south, you're up on stage and people just staring at you like you're going to recover or like what's going on here?
I mean, like, listen, my recovery mode is I just make fun of myself.
Oh, good, okay.
I'm just like, I'll poke fun at myself and be
That's
like,
smart.
oh, that didn't land. And then people just laugh anyway.
Wow, bro.
So
So can you take us through just this initial tour just for, and is it a space that we're going to see you in more often going forward?
in the future, hopefully, but it's just one of those things that with rising costs of everything,
Bro, yeah, it's full on.
that's number one. And number two, bro, I just genuinely enjoy making videos more than I enjoy doing stand-up comedy,
There you
man.
go,
Like
bro.
that's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
You know, like I get more, I mean, obviously financially touring is lucrative, but I get more fulfillment out of making videos, honestly.
Well, see, you wouldn't have known though if you didn't take that jump into that space, right? Like it just validates that you're on the right path. Doing
Yeah,
what
of
you're
course, man. And like I said, it's good because you get that instant feedback of laughter. And then there's also meeting the people that watch your content because I like a lot of people do not do this, but after every show, I stay back.
doing. Right.
And I tell everyone, I'm like, hey, there's an opportunity if you want to buy a Teddy t-shirt or if you just want a photo and like talk, you know, chew the fat,
Amazing.
you know, I'll be staying back. Like just give me 5 minutes. I just need to go to the back,
Do some
things and come back out. And every show, man, I just stayed back and, you know, people tell you some crazy stories, like mind-blowing. And then, you know, and then you meet the people who actually consume your content, but you also realize that these people paid a fee to come watch you live. You know, whether they had to pay for a babysitter as well, whether they had to pay for an Uber to get here.
Oh,
so they've made a financial investment to come see you
That's special,
and
isn't
spend
it?
their night staying back to make sure they meet you and tell you how funny you are.
That's special, isn't it?
100%, man. And that's honestly worth more than the money.
Bro, wow. Do you have any sort of standout memories of the stand-up comedy space, whether good, bad, or indifferent? That sort of, because how long was the tour for? You did it every state?
I did Queensland, so I did Brisbane, Gold Coast.
Wow.
So when I was in Gold Coast, I had a recovering cancer patient. And she came out. She's like, I watched your videos all throughout my chemotherapy. And you sort of like kept me going all the way through my chemotherapy. And I'm in remission and everything's all good now.
Bro, doesn't that just hit home to you? Because
Right, I turned yellow, green,
Makes everything-
purple. I was just like, bro, I didn't know what to say. I was speechless. For the first time in my life, I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And that was beautiful.
that makes you never want to give up, I bet.
100%. Man. After that, I'm like, bro, I don't care about the lady that thinks, you know, I'm a dirty,
that.
dirty this and that and where I'm from. It doesn't matter. Who cares, brother? Who cares?
Who cares,
Right? Still smash. But
Is that a cut, people?
Yeah, 100%, man. That does come in.
accent.
Smash.
Yeah, smash.
Smash
bro.
the video.
I
Smash
him,
content.
I smash him, brother. I
That's
smash him.
it. And you know, like, so there was that, which was like, oh my God. And then another oh my God moment is I said a joke in Gold Coast, Brisbane, Perth, and Adelaide. My first 4 shows, I said this one joke. People were dying of laughter. I said that same joke in Sydney and Melbourne. Bro, you could
Crickets.
hear a pin drop in the room.
Wow, bro. That's something maybe only stand-up comedians will understand because I can't understand that. How does the same joke in the same country fall off in different states? Where
100%, man. And, you know, yeah, we could, you know, delve into that. We cannot, actually, we cannot delve into that.
No, we
'Cause,
can't delve
okay,
into
Sydney and Melbourne are very woke.
right.
That's the difference.
Oh, is it?
Because the moment I said the joke, then after I'm like, it's all right, it's a safe space, we can laugh. 80% of people started laughing. So I'm like, bro, you guys wanted to laugh. You just didn't want to get judged by anyone else.
That's boring. Come
Yeah.
on, people. Live your life.
Exactly, man.
Live your life.
Well, I'm sure there are worse stuff said in group chats, man.
Hey, just a couple more. So I want to know, I guess, some of the the privileges that you've had of doing the hard work you've done, like any great engagements, any great wonderful people you've met that you never thought you'd rub shoulders with, given the work that you've been able to create? Anything stand out in that space? Just to, because I know you've done work with so many people, you've had so many great conversations, but someone that you've idolized or someone that's just been cool to be around that this has brought your way?
Far, man. I think like I usually don't get starstruck, but sometimes people will follow me on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be like, what on earth, bro? You watch my stuff and enjoy
who
it?
is this? Tell
Crazy.
me.
First one,
Yeah.
Nick Curios.
Oh, yeah, curious, bro.
What a bloke. Yeah, and he's actually funny, man.
Yeah.
And he's a hard person to impress. So if he laughs at my content, I know I'm doing well. So
Yeah.
Nick Curios, top. Shout out Nick Curios. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Second one, Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley.
Exactly,
What the
bro.
fuck? That's random.
WWE superstar, Rhea Ripley.
That is random, bro.
Bro, the first time I think she had shared or liked my video, like, I don't know, she followed me, but I couldn't believe my eyes. I'm just like, what? Bro, aren't you meant to be like in a ring wrestling? Like,
That shows how much the reach is getting.
100%. That was number 2. Number 3, bro, the Wiggles. I'm a dad, bro. And when the Wiggles followed me, so John, Purple Wiggle, and Emma Wiggle. So the yellow one, I'm sure she's like no longer a Wiggle.
Yeah.
Emma Wiggle followed me. Bro, I lost my shit, bro. I could not believe it, man. So those are 3 honorable mentions. I'll say Alex Volkanovski. I got to work with him.
Volk,
Absolute
man. Legend
Volk.
Volk.
Absolute
Shout out
legend.
Volk, yep.
Shout out Volk. Meeting Alex Pereira was awesome. Bro, someone who took me by surprise is Coach, man.
Oh.
What an absolute gentleman, man.
Which one?
Polino.
Oh, yeah, Polino, bro, is one of the best
What a
blokes
bloke.
ever, man.
Bro, shout out Alex Perez,
Yeah,
Coach Polino,
yeah.
hilarious. Mr. Cruz, absolutely hilarious.
Pereira just taking the fight whilst he was like in Australia. Like,
Can't believe it, man. Cannot believe it, man.
Animal, man.
Yeah, man, he's something else, man.
He's
So
an
Volk,
animal.
Pereira, I think like just people in sports, man, just absolutely like, because I think they do such a serious job. Like obviously you were in, like majority of your life in
Yeah,
sports.
bro, yeah.
And it's just like, when you're doing tour days, like doing tour days, the days that you're not doing tour days, you're spending time recovering. If you're not recovering, you're playing. If you're not playing,
100%.
you're back to tour days. And I'm just like, man, they've spent like 1 minute of their life watching my video and they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely chuffed, man.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, another honorable mention is Chappelle Corby, bro.
What? That's a random one.
Bro,
Chappelle
like-
Corby's giving you shout outs.
Bro, I think she shared like early days, like one of my videos. I'm like, brother, this is crazy, man.
Oh my gosh, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
that would be an interesting podcast, Chappelle Corby.
Chappelle, we're waiting for you.
Yeah, like
The Unlaced podcast.
the Unlaced podcast. So fun. The
Let's
irony,
get to it.
The irony in that name as well.
100%, man.
So, final question we ask our guests is like a bit of a, we kind of attest 3 key traits to success in business, sport, life, whatever it may be. And all 3 are probably important, but the one that stands out to you for your journey with what you've done, and it's out of resilience, drive, or ambition. Which one of those have you felt like more of your cornerstone of, being Tedsthetics and obviously making it to what you have?
The main cornerstone would have to be drive.
Drive.
And I'll tell you why. Bro, there are a million people who want to make a podcast like you. Many people that want to create content just like me. A million people that want to open up a studio just like this, right? But they're not driven, right? Ideas a dime a dozen, but no execution. And I think just drive is just super underrated in the sense of like the world could probably be a better place if everyone just had the drive to sort of execute their ideas and do a lot of things. For me, it's the drive to keep making content, no matter how big things get, no matter how whatever followers or, like recognition that I get from these awesome superstars that I just mentioned. Dude, just focus on the task at hand and, brick by brick. Rome wasn't built in a day, but every day they were laying bricks.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And,
that's a slogan.
yeah, 100%, bro. Rome wasn't built in a day, but every day they were still laying bricks.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing, man. Every video is a brick and I'm just laying them until one day I look back and I'm just like, whoa.
Wow, bro. What's the dream? Final question. What's sort of next? What's the dream for you? Like, where do you usually when people are so driven and purposeful with what they do, there's maybe some sort of end goal or a silver lining of what they're looking for. What's that for you?
Honestly, I don't. I wish I could sit here and tell you I have a dream. I'm just literally taking it day by day. Nothing is guaranteed.
It's kind of like that with content, right?
With content, nothing's guaranteed, man. We could do this podcast.
You never know what's coming around the corner.
100%, man. Like, bro, if you asked me a year ago, would I leave my job to create content? I would have told you, bro, you're dreaming.
Yeah.
And a year later, here I am doing it full time. have the flexibility of coming in on like on this Arvo, to get to spend time with you and have this conversation.
It's been amazing, bro.
Yeah, man, absolutely phenomenal. So, anything can happen, a lot can change. And I think the weird thing about, like dreams, like a dream is one thing, but if you don't have the drive to, lay the bricks to build that dream, nothing's going to come about. So for me, just taking a day at a time, video at a time, and just have fun with it. I think if there's one lesson that I learned from first making content and now, just actually have fun with it and enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
And that's what I do, man. Like, I'm like success is so subjective. And for me, man, it's just having my family, having my daughters, my wife, and doing what I love. I've achieved more than enough, man. And you know what? I'll just keep striving on maintaining that and growing it the best way I can, man.
Man, beautifully said, bro. Well, I've been very grateful to have you on the show, man. It's been fun chatting to you.
Thank you, bro.
It's a pleasure. Congrats on all that you're doing too. You have to keep doing it. As I said, you're bringing all these people together. You make me laugh all the time, bro. So
thank you, man. I appreciate you having me. And obviously, this is absolutely amazing, man. So I can't wait to see. Hopefully it doesn't get lower than me, but, more guests, please.
Oh, we appreciate it. Hey, guys, thank you for tuning in. We absolutely love you. We'll see you guys next week.